Hi everyone, we have Harsha here with us again, and now he is going to share his interview experience for Cognizant. So let's get started, Harsha. Let's tell me about your Cognizant exam. What was the platform? What was the role? And what was the CTC offered to you for this?
Yeah, there were two roles offered by Cognizant actually. So one was Gen Z and the Gen Z Next.
Yeah,
For Gen Z, it was 4 LPA, and for Gen Z Next, it should be around 6 to 7 LPA.
6.5 LPA. Yes.
Yeah. So, and the platform was AMCAT, a very
Okay.
simple AMCAT, and the test had 4 sections there. The first was numerical ability, reasoning and English. They had another section called a pseudocode round where you had to
Code
complete 7
debugging
out of
part,
7.
in which you
Yeah,
are
where you
like,
had,
yeah,
yes, ma'am.
in which you have to answer 7 questions that are based on automata or maybe some computer programming concepts.
Yes, you
And
had to complete the code, or for the last question, you had to complete the entire code, and you had to compile it with no errors to get through the exam.
okay. So what was the difficulty level of this particular round, your code debugging round?
Code debugging was actually simple. It's a little bit average, but to complete 7 out of 7, it requires a little bit more concentration.
So it's a part of round one, as you say, as you said, your logical, quants, verbal, and then your code
Yes,
debugging. Okay. So
it's a
was
part
there
of the
any kind of
assessment
essay
case.
writing test?
Yeah, actually, there was one section in English where you had to complete.
Yeah.
There was a question where you had to write an essay, and they use that in your interview. So I think they'll have a copy of your essay there, and I think they might use it in your HR interview to ask about the essay.
So what was your topic for that essay writing test?
Yeah, so there was a thing like, what is your biggest regret in your life? So what did you do to make some changes, and what did you learn from it? So that was the question of the essay.
And you have to answer in it to 150 to 200 words, I guess. Word
Yes,
limit.
you had to answer in the limit. Yeah.
Okay. So moving on to the next round, your round two was a coding round.
Yeah, the round two is the coding. If you're able to do the 7 out of 7 questions, you're given a coding round for Gen Z Next.
Okay, Gen Z next.
But
Otherwise,
if you're
you will be interviewed for your Gen Z profile after your round one.
yeah yeah if you're not able to complete almost 7 questions, you are given. I think it also depends on the performance of other levels. Also, you had to ace your automata fix and some other sections also. So if you do average in all the sections, you are given the Gen Z profile.
Okay, so for which profile you were interviewed?
Yeah, I was interviewed for the Gen Z profile.
Gen Z profile. Okay. So how many panelists were there and how many interviews were there for your Gen Z next profile? Gen Z profile.
It was just a single round of
Okay, just
interview,
a single round.
and there were two interviews: the technical and the HR.
And what was the
So
platform used for this particular interview round?
yeah, it was a smart meet. So this
Smart
was
Meet.
the platform used by the
That's your
council.
SDL, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. So what was the first question?
Yeah, starting off, it was about
Tell me
myself.
about
So
yourself.
they told me to talk about myself in a
Okay.
few words. So I told them about my city, my college, my skills, and my hobbies, and a little bit of my projects. So he stopped me midway and he started asking technical questions. So it was, the first question was, what is regression? Sorry, what is recursion?
Okay.
So yeah, I just answered that it's a process which comes into existence when a function calls a copy of itself, to work on a small
Yeah.
problem. So then he asked me the follow up question of give some examples of recursion. So I just gave him a very cliche answer that factorial and Tower of Hanai concepts.
Okay.
So that was that.
And
And
any other
then the
question?
next question was on sorting. So he asked me to explain the logic of selection sort. So I told him that, yeah, you divide the array into two parts. So one is the sorted and unsorted part, and you just move the lowest element, which is brought from the unsorted array, and at each step you have to increase the counter. So that was the logic there. And he
Okay.
was convinced. He did not ask me for the code. No screen sharing there. And finally, I had to give him a time complexity. So I told him that this is a big O of n square.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he asked
And then
questions
yeah,
based on data structure again, just like other
yeah,
interviews.
data structure and yeah.
So I can say data
Uh,
structure plays a very important part in your technical interviews.
yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. So if anyone is going is preparing for any company, so he or she must have to study about or he must know about all the concepts of data structure with the real time examples. Okay. So
Yes, ma'am.
any other question? related to this round, or like asked to you?
Yeah, he also asked me to solve an aptitude question on the screen. So he
Aptitude
presented
question.
me a question on the screen, which was, I think, based on
So did he
average
ask
weights of
you to share
students.
your screen?
No, he just asked me to give the answer orally.
Okay.
He did not ask me to share the screen.
Okay.
So he gave me some 5 to 6 minutes to solve the problem.
Okay.
So whatever answer I could get, I just told him. So
Hmm.
he just moved on to the next question. That's all.
Okay. So like he also asked you an aptitude question in your technical round.
Yeah. So I think it's also important to know your concepts and aptitude before you go. So some companies like Cognizant will ask you to solve aptitudes also. Yeah.
Okay. Any other thing from this round that you
No,
remember?
ma'am, that was all. Just
Okay.
on sorting and data structures
Any
and
kind of
some applications.
HR question?
No, this technical round just had a technical, if you get
Okay.
technical
So
questions, no
basically,
HR
you
questions.
had two interview rounds. First your technical, and then you have followed up by your HR. Okay. So this was all for your technical round. So what was the timing for this section?
So this happened for like 15 to 18 minutes.
Okay, 15 to 18 minutes. Okay. Yeah. Moving on to the next round, your HR round. So tell me about your HR round. What was the platform, and again, what were the questions asked in this round?
The HR was very simple. The HR was on SmartMate itself. So they were like, talk about yourself on that also. And he asked me to give examples on each step. So if I told him that I was a good leader or if I was a self-motivated person, he told me that you need to give me some examples of real life to make me believe that you have these skills. So I had to give him a few examples of how I was creative enough in college also.
Your
So
management skill
I told,
based on your how like you will just manage a team if you're in a college, like how you bring funds as you told me.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what happens is that I just told the interviewer that I had organized a few events in college. So he asked follow-up questions of what are the steps you consider in organizing an event. So I had to tell that I had to form teams before that and make sure that I allot jobs for each of them, and also look into this that it's functioning very in a simple way, not too complicated. And coming to the next question was, how do you convince your college to give the funds for the fest? So he was expecting me to answer in a smart way. So I told him that it's not my opinion. It's not just my opinion. I had to talk to my teammates and talk to other professors of what are the funds required, and get the collective opinion and present it in front of the panel so that I can get the funds in a reasonable manner. And I have the backup of so much people. So there was no wrong going around there. So that was all.
Okay, so this was all for your Cognizant interview.
Yeah.
So when you received the mail for this particular interview, I mean this particular test,
Yeah.
that you
I
are
was sent a
selected.
mail. Yeah.
No, no. How in how many days you received this offer letter?
Cognizant actually, they just send the selected list of students,
Okay.
but they take some time sending the offer letters. It depends on the college also. So it
Okay.
depends on the region and the college.
Okay. So thank you
So
so
it
much,
may vary
Harsha.
from anywhere between 2 months to 3 months, or it might take around 5 to 6 months also.
5 to 6 months also we can consider. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So thank you so much, Harsha, for sharing your interview experience for Cognizant also, and all the best from the whole team of Rapinsta. And congratulations for getting selected.
Thank you.